Guys, welcome back to the Brute Strength Podcast. I'm your host, Dex Hopkins. We're going to talk all things fitness and fellowship to the millionth degree in this episode because my guest is over 2 decades of friendship, former center to the quarterback I was in junior college, strength coach, nutrition coach, father, man of heft, cardio club representative, Jeff Cooper. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Thanks for having me, bro.
So what you guys don't know about Jeff, there's probably a lot of things, but my dog for many years, Jeff just got hired on as our newest remote coach. Him and Miss Amber Leonard will have her on eventually. But I want to give my man the floor to kind of talk about where he's at with this thing, how he got involved in it, and we'll get into that. But just given our background, me and Jeff have been friends since 2008 or 9. Is it 8?
8.
8. I was a freshman in junior college. Jeff was incoming. I had redshirted. Little bitty school in Mississippi, Holmes Community College. He came from a private school in Mississippi. I had been there just in the trenches. And it was just a real stepbrother scenario. You and Grandma showed up.
Definitely a stepbrothers scenario. Showed up to a room that was trashed because Dex had been there all summer, and you don't you deny it.
Stand trashed it.
So we got the room cleaned up, and the rest is history.
It is. We've been in weddings and childbirths and all the things in between. So not to jump all that because, my God, we could talk forever about that, and you know I will. We've been on teams before, got separated in senior college, played in the same conference, though. Jeff was the center for me, and then he went on to do every offensive lineman job at Arkansas Monticello, I think. So give him a little bit of your kind of athletic background. We can wind it from Holmes, and then just how you got to where we are now.
Yeah. So originally we were going to be going to the same place. Both of us were committed to Delta State, and then the pocketbook came calling from another school, and I went there. And so I went there and finished my career out. Ended up blowing my knee up, and then blowing up on the scale. And once I got done playing ball, I had my knee surgery and kind of got lost in the weight room. And then old Dexter brought me into Mississippi CrossFit, and that kind of introduced me into the throes of CrossFit itself. And I was hooked after the very first day.
Jeff has seen my addictive personality be channeled in a real positive way. So I think we both thought at some point we'd be old fat ball coaches. And him and Steph moved home. We'll call it. I was still big then from football, but it was my first year trying to be competitive. Had no clue what I was doing there. Big boy. Had no clue what I was doing coaching. Definitely didn't have any clue what I was doing athletically. I was a real turn and burn, light the fuse and explode guy, which some would say I still am. But Jeff and Stephanie did not miss. Stephanie's Jeff's wife did not miss a class for, I don't think, after the first week y'all came, dude.
No.
And then so the fun part of that is not just athletic trajectory, but business-wise. So tell them where you went from there. We were at Mississippi CrossFit. I ended up moving to Kentucky. Jeff has lit the fuse, the fire for coaching CrossFit and just all the things that is, comes with it, the fitness, the fellowship, the impact in people's lives. So where did you go from, hey, man, I love doing this as an athlete, being a part of a community like we were at Mississippi CrossFit? Where did it go from there?
So I think I did just a regular athlete style for about 3 years. So it was 2013 to 2016. And then a local gym in the area was starting up and needed somebody to fill in and coach. And when they came calling, I was like, yeah, I'm in. I went and took my level 1, coached there, ended up doing some sweat equity deal to where I kind of, had a piece of the business. And then after that, I ended up buying out the guy who brought me in, on the affiliate until about 3 weeks ago. And got my level 2 in the meantime, got my level 3 in the meantime, and then kind of jumped on with Brute from there. And that kind of changed the game for me.
So what kind of pivot was it though? So what was the plan? Like I joke we'll be all old fat ball coaches, but what was coming out of Monticello when y'all moved home? What was the plan going to be? I know you sold insurance for a little while, but
Yeah.
what was it? I can't remember if you were going to go to PT school or what was the background. What did we finish up with?
I was going to go to PT school, and here, I mean, in Mississippi, they only accept 20 to 25 applicants. or they only take 20 to 25 people from the application process, and they have hundreds of applicants come in. So where I was, me and Steph had been dating for a while. We've been engaged for 2 years. We got married a week after I walked across the stage to get my bachelor's, and
God, that's a good
it was
weekend.
kind of one of it was kind of one of those things where I need to start making money because she can't be the only person making money. So I ended up doing. I worked at a hospital for a minute in transportation, and then I left there. Yeah,
I
and I
love
left
that.
there and went to project management in construction. Then I left that and went to selling insurance, and then that's when I was selling insurance is when the gig with CrossFit Flora came along, and that transitioned into being able to meet a lot of people. Mostly through you, being able to go up to the CrossFit Games and have the affiliate tickets and everything, where you get to go backstage and do all the cool stuff and have the affiliate lounge and get to meet a bunch of cool people. And I think the first year, I think I met Dallin and James and Matt and Elle and James's dad, Pat. I met everybody. Pat's freaking awesome.
That's good.
Met all of them it was the year before Dallin made it the first time and 2 years before James made it. And I was able to kind of be introduced to everybody. And once I met Matt, Elle doesn't talk very much, so I didn't hear much from him the first time I met him. But me and Matt got to talking about, the level 2 and the level 3 process and how I was interested in it. And that kind of lit the fire under me to progress in CrossFit and being able to, jump up the ladder coaching wise. And I was originally going to build, we're in a lease space. You've seen it. It's old school CrossFit. Um, you open the doors for air condition, you close the doors for heat kind
In
of deal
Mississippi. In
in
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Yeah. Hot, hot and cold, cold. There's no in between. And,
Cold.
yeah, right. And we, I bought some land and was initially going to build a space, and it didn't end up working out. Couldn't make the numbers work. Kind of with the economy the way it is, I wasn't able to make anything work. So I ended up selling it, and uh, ended up making my way on staff here. The rest is history.
So what's locked this thing into? Because you guys don't know about Jeff, one of the kindest, most organized, thorough, gather all the resources and use them to a max benefit people I know. He's been 50 years old since we were 18 years old. On the inside, I joke about. But what you also don't know is through all these checkpoints, I say drag, and it's a very positive term. Dragging the wagon. All right, it's Steph, and there was just a giant child, Ellie, and then now there's Liam. They have two
Mm-hmm.
little ones.
Yep.
And so through all these seasons of life, we've been through many together.
Yep.
He saw me find kind of the spark and the passion for it. And at Mississippi CrossFit, I mean, he knows I was a 5 a.m. to close guy. Couldn't tell me anything about it. Loved it. And we had an awesome group of people. I ended up moving to Kentucky. And then the gaps in there, as you can see, kind of a passion developed for it. So talk about how kind of that stuff cascades for you. Like you were in the affiliate, you own an affiliate. Clearly, it's a super passion for you because you've run full speed in it since you got a whiff of it. And
Yeah.
so that led us here. So what was kind of the wow moment where you were like, hey man, I love this affiliate stuff. I've met this group of people. Um, you know, all the folks that work for Brute, Matt, L, me, DC. You've met everybody now. Coach the camp. What was kind of the wow thing? It was like, man, Brute's kind of the route. This is the way I want to go with the passions I have and kind of the skills I've accumulated.
Yeah. So we ended up somehow stayed in touch with Matt, and I somehow convinced him to come to Mississippi to do a camp. Uh,
At
we
CrossFit Flora, that's the
at
joke.
CrossFit
We didn't
Flora.
set it
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. We managed to get him and Dallin to come to Mississippi, and I think that was wild enough to see in person. Matt walking around my yard, looking at all the deer and being amazed, videoing them and everything. The real Mississippi experience. But we managed to get them to come to a camp. It was a abbreviated camp, just because being in Mississippi, there's not a whole lot of outreach there. But we had a blast. We killed the camp, and being able to watch Matt work with Dallin, and Dallin wasn't even in season. It was like right after Rogue. So he was just coming back to moving again. But seeing Matt sit down, I think we were sitting at a restaurant over in Ridgeland, and he's just sitting there talking to Dallin. They're conversing back and forth about what their plan is, what they're going to do. I'm like, man, this is personalized experience is completely different to what I'm used to. This is very interesting. And then continuing to watch the rest of the weekend, being able to see everything they did interacting together. I think he set him up like a 40-minute EMOM to do. He made it like 28 minutes in, and he looked over at Matt and was like, that's enough. Everything, kind of swings and changes. And
I was on that squad too. I was like, we're good. We're good. It's
yeah,
hot.
yeah,
It's hot,
yeah,
boss.
yeah. Oh, I think it's time for camp to start.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what we said. But
We can
seeing that
coach now.
interaction, yeah, seeing that interaction back and forth was pretty awesome, and that continued over into Tailwinds. We went to a camp in Tailwinds. I had some flight credit. I was supposed to go to the games by myself, and there's
Yeah,
Liam.
there he is, big fella.
Made it. He made it on the podcast.
Yeah, big
I
boy.
was I was supposed to go to the CrossFit Games by myself, and about 2 weeks before, this would be 2022 or 23.
It's
Anyway,
23. 23. It's 23. It
yeah,
was last
I
year.
think it
Yeah,
was.
it's literally like exactly a year ago almost.
Yeah,
I think.
uh, not the Texas, but the last year in Madison, right?
Yep.
Would have
Oh,
been
I
that
do
one.
remember that year. Yeah, Whiskey
Yeah,
Jack's year. I do remember
yep.
that. I do
Well,
remember.
I was supposed to go by myself, uh, and Steph, like 2 weeks before, was like, "Hey, I got extra PTO. I want to go." Well, that cascaded into the kids going with us because we take our kids everywhere,
And boy, they ain't
and
missed a trip yet. They ain't
they ain't
missed a
missing
trip
nothing.
yet.
No, they haven't. They're great travelers. But so I canceled my flight and got all that flight credit, and that flight credit was just sitting there. And I saw Matt promoting the Tailwinds camp, and I was like, "Well, hey, dude, I got flight credits. I can fly down there for free if I can just find a floor somewhere to sleep on. I want to be a fly on the wall. I just want to watch y'all coach so that I can learn and be better at this." And he was like, "Yeah, come on, come watch in." And hey, while you're at it, here's a link to the mentorship that Brute does. Sign up. So I signed up for the mentorship. I was about halfway through it by the time we went to Jacksonville. I show up to the camp, and I'm expecting to get there. The camp's already started. I couldn't get a flight in until like noon. Camp had already started. Everybody's in there jamming, and I walk in the gym, and Matt sees me walk in. He's like, "Hey, come over here. You're coaching over there." And I
Right in the
just got
fire.
thrown in with the wolves
That
right
didn't
in the
sound like
fire.
him.
Yeah, and it was honestly, it was one of the dopest experiences ever. But like that solidified that I wanted to be with Brute. I wanted to do whatever I needed to do to get the sweat equity in to show everybody I know what I'm doing, show everybody that I'm good at this stuff, and just give me a shot.
Yeah. And so the thing for me, and I've been pining for this for God, it must have been a year since the Flora camp, right? So that camp, the Flora camp was cool to me, like you said. The gym, it's old school CrossFit if you've been in the space for a while. So like before 2010, the grimy, not dirty, but OG CrossFit, right? You can fall on Jeff's floor and not have a dirty belly, but it is old school CrossFit. It's not a retail front air conditioned space with a spa feel. No, you can work out, poop, stretch, and fellowship. That's it.
Hmm.
Um, and it's everything you need. And so seeing you be able to step into those things because it's a lot different feel, maybe not different, but the feel of it's different when you're trying
Yeah,
to spearhead a camp and you're doing a small group, you're talking to people one-on-one, and what they're expecting from you is not the affiliate cues and stuff. They want the higher level
no,
stuff. They want you to
yeah,
move the needle a little faster, wave your magic wand. So I think camp to camp for me, uh, it's always tugs my heartstrings because like we basically been brothers for 20 years, and
yeah,
getting to go from that to tailwinds, they I have no problem tossing you in because I know you. Seeing them get so comfortable so fast, and again, I love all the boys at baseline.
yeah,
It makes me love them more because we've always done well on anything we've ever done together, and it's always been more fun for me just because of how close we've been. But the
yeah,
camp at Tailwinds, dude, there's a pressure you don't realize. Like y'all have made friends with Dal, and he's sat on your couch, right? Play with your
hmm,
kids.
Yep.
Dallon's easy, great guy, very easy to talk to. Kelsey's there, Fee's there, all these people from all over that have come, and
James
Tailwinds.
was
If you guys
there.
don't,
Yeah.
James was there, and if you guys don't know, Tailwinds is like Brood HQ. It's where Matt lives, Dallon lives, Fee, James for a little while, I think, before he went back to be a grown up and get married. But the seeing the kind of I don't say transformation, dude, but just getting it out in the open that boy, my dog's been out here a little while, and
Yeah.
seeing you be able to flow through it and not worry about the weird. I say pressure because I know all those people and they're very sweet, but if you don't, it's a
Hmm.
weird pressure, and
Yeah.
you feel like there's a temptation to overreach, and you didn't do that. You stay within yourself. The camp went very smooth, man. I think you picked up was it Maggie that's in house there?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So we drank margaritas with Maggie at the games. So Maggie's one of Jeff's athletes now, picked up an athlete out of it. He was so good at forming those relationships and going back and forth with those people. But it was good for my heart, man, and just kind of solidified the quality of team of people we have that, you know, knowing people and bringing in just the homies is cool, but seeing it that it can be both to where the depth of knowledge is there, the passion's there, and you're able to convey that to people in a really personal way and kind of meet folks where they are, because that camp had every level of person, right? Dallin was on the
Yeah.
podium this year. Fee made huge strides. You could tell she's got the thing from Fantastic Four shoulders, and I'm jealous. That's a term of endearment. My God. And so did James, dude. Like, James, fittest man on earth. You know, don't at
Exactly.
me, okay?
Yep.
He could say, we ain't got to
It
get into
counts.
it. We ain't got to get into it, but every
It
year I could
counts.
nitpick somebody. Oh, if Rich could climb a rope in 2010, there's no Graham. Shut up. Okay,
Yeah.
James the fittest.
Hmm.
But and we'll that's a different podcast episode. I'm gonna get my dog on here. But
Yeah.
dude, it's done my heart well, and I couldn't be more excited and pumped to like finally on a team again together. You know,
Yeah, man.
and it's been up in the air for a little while, and so I'm excited about it. And so we talked about picking up athletes. You got Maggie from Tailwinds
Hmm.
because she works with. I don't want to butcher the name of her company. It's a mindset coaching company that she runs out of the owner. You remember the name of it? You know the
I
name
don't
of it?
know the name of it. No,
I
I
love you
should.
guys. I'm
I
terrible.
don't.
I'm very sorry, but they do great
I'm.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her lecture at camp was awesome, and
It
he and
sure
her
was.
yeah, they're good. But picking up athlete from that, and so yeah, that's where we are, man. I couldn't be happier about it. And so
Me either.
we're gonna get Amber on here. We got some new coaches. So what other kind of things are we talking? I know you're a nutrition guy also,
Yeah.
and so. What's the background with that? Kind of what's the flow? And if you want to give like a target audience, who's Jeff Cooper trying to work with in the space?
In the CrossFit space, I'm looking for, mostly teen athletes and masters athletes is kind of where I'm specifying.
Oh, age
Yeah.
group, man.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
heart.
I already have one semifinal athlete with the Masters who is actually it's Beth Shepard. She's the one who bought my affiliate from me.
Shout out
And
Beth. Had a great year.
shout out Beth. She did, had a fantastic year. And she's somebody, if I was still in the mentorship process or had just wrapped up the mentorship process when she jumped on and was one of my case studies. And she had no strict handstand push-ups when she started. By the time the quarterfinals got here, she was knocking them out and crushed it and made it to semis a year and a half early. It's one of those things where the personalized stuff that we do that nobody else does that I know of really works. And she was able to step in and crush. But, you know, having the background in the affiliate, I've seen so many injuries, so many mobility issues, so many people not moving well that it really translates over to teaching the teens how to move from the beginning and avoiding the process of them learning how to move like crap and me having to, or anybody having to reteach it. Um, Catching them on the front end and being able to walk them through that step and then walk them into, the open, the quarterfinals, the games. And then on the flip side, taking masters athletes who've already had years of issues that they may not even know about, or issues in their movements or flaws in their movements, and restructuring them to where they have a longevity in the sport. That's kind of where my heart lies. Now, I'll take anybody at any level of CrossFit that wants to do anything. But, you know, I think that the masters and the teens is really, where I thrive. As far as nutrition goes, I'll take anybody. If you're on the couch and you don't know how to eat, I can help you. If you're somebody who thinks you know how to eat and hadn't had a carb since 2008, you're wrong, and I can
I'm
help
adding
you
these
there.
bad boys up. Touch them.
Yeah, exactly. So, nutrition wise, I got my certificate with working against gravity. I'm not on staff with working against gravity, but I do have my certificate there. Those are not to be confused. They get angry when you say that. But
Of course.
I definitely know what I'm doing there. And, helping athletes on the nutrition side is awesome. But helping the people who can't get off the couch, I still have the big heart when it comes to that. So, changing lives with the food, changing lives with the fitness. I'm all about both.
No, same, dude. That's why I stay in a physical job is because I love remote coaching. To me is, and I've done both. Right, I've worked for template things and done templates as an athlete and all that. And I don't think there's many more things powerful than somebody being able to see, assess, meet you where you are, and get you to the point where I can build a capacity and not a compensation
Hmm.
because I didn't fix the actual problem or the roots of it. I just layered crap on top of it, and that house
Yeah.
falls eventually, right?
Yep.
And whether that looks like a year off or an injury, things you get sticky with and they just plague you, that take time
Yep.
away from you, kind of have that peak expression. So yeah, I agree, man. And that seeing you do that with Beth, it's very like even at camp because I had not seen her in a while until we did the camp at Flora,
Yeah.
just leaps and bounds better. And I know her scores year to year show that. So, I think I stay in the physical job to do what you're talking about, like impact people, where they're at. If they're not a competitive athlete, awesome. But getting you to live that healthier life so you can be a better, healthier, have more longevity as a mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever you are, is still near and dear to my heart. So that's why I keep it. But yeah, man, where can folks find you? I know we got your Instagram name there. The links are in the bios and all those things. But what else do you have going on you want the people to know about before we wrap this bad boy up and I go cry in a corner because we're both on the same team again?
Man, just, click on the links in my bio if you're interested in getting somebody who cares. I mean, the one-on-one coaching that we do here is completely different. I've said it before. I've said it in the earlier. Say it again. Nobody does it like us. We're always continuing to learn. Like, I mean, I'm waiting on you to set the podcast up, and I'm reading this because I've never read it before.
Oh, I got it. It just came
Always,
in from Amazon.
yeah. So, like, the
K-Star.
process is constantly going. I've got my level 3. I'm not going to get my level 4 because it costs too much money, and there's really no reason. But as far as CrossFit goes, I've reached my ceiling with the company of CrossFit. Always trying to learn more. I think that Elle and Matt do a good job of trying to make sure that we're educated, that we're doing the right thing. I feel like Elle would, be able to click on any of my athletes, and if he thinks something stupid, he would not hesitate to tell me, which is very useful because you don't want to waste anybody's time. You want to program exactly what they need. You want to always push people to be better. You want them to hit their goals, and having backup like that. I don't think very many companies have that. I don't think very many other programs do that. Um,
I think it's a team
so
thing. So that's
it
always been
is.
one of my favorite things is that we resource one another because we're all good at so many different things. Is that you're able to resource one another and like you get one, yeah, I'm your coach, but what you get access to is the depths, the
Yeah.
depths.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, it's prevalent at camp. You can see it, and that's why more of those are coming. So stay tuned. But yeah,
Yeah.
man,
I
it's one
mean,
of my favorite things.
it's one of those things to where if I have something that I don't know how to diagnose, like if and I've already done this, I have an athlete, Kate, who is working on ring muscle ups pretty heavy right now. It's something that plagues her. Chest to bar pull ups are the same way. And all I got to do is reach out to Lindsay, shout out
Oh,
Lindsay,
Lindsay,
and
Lindsay.
she can send me some stuff and be like, hey, have her work on this. This is what I see. And it could be something that I don't even see. And, we can make alterations to her plan, and I can change things and make progress in other ways. And, the same thing if I see something, in competition, I had an athlete do the Wadapalooza in California. And if he decides to do that again, or, he has an issue with stage fright, or if he gets on the competition floor and tends to be somebody who's like, oh, I'm on the competition floor, I got to go right now, I need to go 100%. There is nothing else than burning down this workout right now. I cannot taste nothing. Then I can reach out to you and be like, hey, how can I word this from someone who's been on the competition floor? who's done these competitions, who's
Who's messed it up a
redlined,
lot.
who's rode as hard as they can to get to that treadmill, only to walk. What
I
can we?
look. I told I called that shot, and I
You
was right.
did, you did. You said what you were going to do.
Seth, yeah, he said, "Hey man, how do you want to pace this?" I said, "Pace this, brother." What he's talking about is 333 in 2018. God bless that year of final year of regionals. RIP. Bring it back, please. It was 2K row, 200, a million double unders, and a 3 mile assault runner run, which now I would love. He said, "How you want to pace this, brother?" I said, "My mom's here, dude. I'm gonna get to the treadmill first and see what happens." And I did. And what happened was I got off almost last, and that's okay. Because the kid
Yeah,
threw up. Everybody was distracted from how slow I was going because it's Hal Fisher threw up on the thing.
all
But
over that, all over
yeah,
that assault runner, and it was fishtailing all over the place. It was wonderful.
I saw. Yeah, I've never been happier I was next to somebody. But all right, brother. I love you, man. I'm excited. Welcome to the squad. Y'all go check my man out at Coach Jeff Cooper. He has taken on athletes. We got room on the roster. So has
Definitely.
Dexter.
Yep.
Those intake forms are available to you guys. We will see you next time on the Brute Strength Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
See y'all.